Hello, are we beginning? Are we starting? Yeah. Good morning, everybody. Let's try that again. I was counting on these two little kids. They promised. Good morning, everybody. That's pretty good. All right, well, welcome. I appreciate you guys getting up early and being here with us. My name is Daryl Mott. I'm going to be just hosting this talk that we're having, mostly because I have a lot of friends in ag and I know everybody up here. So they said, can you come and hang out? And I said, of course. But thank you for being here for our What's New session. Before we get going, a couple quick notes. We have got a handheld microphone that will be going out to the crowd. It's great to hear from them first person, but if you have any questions, that's what this room is about. So feel free to ask whatever you want to ask. We'll be coming to you at the end to look for questions. Guys, you're ready? And we're going to meet our speakers today. And then lastly, there will be evaluations handed out at the end, and we appreciate if you'd fill those out. All right, well, let's start with introductions. I'm going to let them handle it from here. We'll start down here. Please introduce yourself to the room, if you wouldn't mind.
Name's Kevin Cobb. I'm farm in DuBois, Indiana. Grow corn, soybeans, and turkeys.
My name's Adam Bauman. I farm in north central Wisconsin. Fourth generation farmer, and we farm corn, beans, edible beans, small grains, and some specialty crops.
Lowell Bocek, Beasley, Texas. We farm rice, cotton, corn, milo, and soybeans.
Ross Chastain from Alva, Florida. We grow watermelons, and then I race in NASCAR.
Just letting a couple more people sit down real quick. Guys, come on in. All right, well, we've met our speakers. We were excited to be here with Yieldmaster Solutions and their technology partner, New Leaf Symbiotic. So now that we've met our speakers, we're gonna move along here, and let's start real simple. All right, let's talk about disease pressure and what you're seeing on your farm. What's interesting is you guys all have different crops as well. So just in general, what kind of disease pressure have you guys been facing? Kevin, we'll start with you.
So we normally, the bad diseases we call a southern rust and tar spot, what we deal with.
Thank you.
So I deal with, in soybeans, we deal with a patient yet persistent white mold.
We mainly farm cotton, and ours would be rhizoctonia and fusarium.
We don't get hard freezes in South Florida, so I say that, and we froze 2 nights ago. But fusarium wilt, powdery mildew, nematodes are a big thing. We're on at least a 7-year land rotation trying to help that. So we're constantly moving land for our watermelons.
And now, before we also, I would just for the room, that anybody not familiar with these farmers, how many years have you been in the farming business?
32 years for me.
I've been on the farm my whole life, but really in charge of operations about 20 years.
This will be 30 years for me.
I'm 32 years old. 33? So y'all been doing it a lifetime for me. I use farmer lightly. It is on my badge, but I've been chasing race cars since I was really 19 years old. I moved to North Carolina, so my time at the farm is limited, but still very involved and more on the sales side. So I'm speaking on behalf of our farmers. We've got about 30 family farms, so I'm taking all of their knowledge and telling y'all what they're telling me. So grew up on the farm. Chastains have been doing it for a long time, and we found watermelons to be our specialty, but I'm not there every day, so if you get granular on me, I'm going to have to maybe phone a friend.
That's just a disclaimer in case harvest doesn't go as planned. He's there, he's around. How many in this room, just by show of hands, are familiar with biologicals? Okay, we got lifetime farmers up here, you just heard it. Gentlemen, in one word, describe what you thought of biologicals before this year.
I don't think I can say that word. No. Just skeptical. How about that?
I'll say inconsistent.
Snake oils.
That was the word you couldn't use. I didn't know. Just unknown for us. Unknown.
Right. Well, obviously there was a lot of field trials, there was a lot of trial and error, and I followed all your stories this year through New Leaf. So let's talk a little bit about results and observations using New Leaf technologies. Adam, Lowell, and Kevin all use TS601, EPA registered biofungicide and New Leaf crop specific biostimulant. Ross will get to yours after, but for the three gentlemen here, same product. What was your experience out the gate?
So first thing I'll say, we actually ran the biostimulant with it. We noticed that the stalks were just massive compared to our normal practices. But then we had Southern Rust come in, and the main thing was the application of the 601 was actually better than our standard, what we do, how to control our diseases with fungicides. So very, very excited about it.
Was it a hard sell to get you interested?
Yeah.
I know you're not one to kind of stray. You kind of stick to what you know, yeah? How about for you, Adam?
Yeah, so we also ran the biostimulant, and we came out early in the season in the vegetative stages, and we also noticed some really good root stimulation after digging and washing some roots. And then as the white mold pressure got higher in the later in the season in August, we did notice a little bit of better control over that disease. And so not necessarily looking for the end yield of this product, but can I have an insurance program? Can I have another mode of action out there? Because it is very difficult to get to where you need to go mechanically with your fungicides.
Very good. I was talking to Lowell last night. This is probably my favorite story from the week. So Lowell, somebody approached you and said, you should try this. But of course, the decision is how much acreage are you going to try it on? And can you tell that story?
Yes, when we were first offered to try biologicals, they came to us, it's new to the company. Would we like to try it? And it was at a luncheon, and me and my boss were talking, and the guy goes, well, how many acres do y'all want to try it on? And we're like, all of it. And he was like, well, we would like just for y'all to see it. And we're like, if we're doing it, it's all or none. We're not gonna, and we didn't use it all on all the acres because we didn't want to open a packet that wasn't gonna be completely used. And after that, we were like, yes, from that day on, we use it on every acre, on every crop.
So for anybody that thinks men have commitment issues, there you go, right there. He said, I'm all in, which is very cool. But now Ross actually used a VT biostimulant for vegetable transplant within a specialty market. Can you talk a little bit about that, Ross?
Yeah, it was new to our area, and when we first were looking at doing it, I actually was in the greenhouse the day we opened the first packet and dumped it in the bucket, slurried it, and put it into the watering about a week before we were going to transplant. So we do sow all of our seeds in a greenhouse and grow them there and do a seedling, and then we transplant by hand into the field. And we're planting on a plastic mulch bed. So I was there for the first time. We were figuring it out together, and then fast forward a year to this year, and they had it handled. We've got a rep down there now in our area, in Immokalee and LaBelle, Florida, that handled all that. That first planting did completely freeze a little under a month ago. We treated another round of plantings, which just froze 2 nights ago. So we are on the wagon right now, trying to get our really second replanting treated in time so that we can have our trial. We did 2 trials last year. So we did citrus, just for some color on it, is a dying thing in Florida and has been for decades. My whole life, I've seen citrus groves that I grew up driving by that are now, over the years, have not been replanted. So that is opening up opportunities for other things as the world cycle goes. So we're able to farm some of those former citrus grove beds, which are already mounded up, have good irrigation, have underground piping for drip systems. So last year, our 25 spring crop, we did a trial in that field, and we pushed the grove ourselves, part of our land rent deal, so we could if we pushed the grove, then we got to farm it for a year. So we did a trial there, and then we did a trial out on a pasture field that was just in cattle for the last 10 years, and did a late field there for a trial. We did the early trial on the citrus bed, and what we found was that citrus grove had a lot of long time disease that they had, as they let the growth go over the last 4 years. They were not spraying what they needed to. They were just milking it to the end of the tree's lives and not planning to replant. So we went in and dissed it all, but there was a lot of bad stuff out there that we didn't quite grasp going into it. We hadn't farmed a citrus field with this landowner before. So that's where we saw the difference, was a ton of disease pressure early on, a lot of cold, a lot of setback last year. None of these hard freezes, but we didn't lose the crop like we have this year. But last year, that citrus grove was our earliest, and we had new leaf on that first planting, and that's where we saw the difference. Like these guys have touched on, it's the root size, it's the plant vigor, it's through the hard times as white flies are just covering these plants and bringing in disease from our neighbors. Because South Florida grows a ton of variety of specialty crops in general, but central inland Florida, I don't want to say central, but inland, away from the coast, is big ag. And we've got a lot of neighbors that do things different and leave things in the fields that we wish they would turn under. So that's where we saw the difference. That late field was a great growing condition, really no cold, no setbacks, and those plants came on, and we saw really minimal, we saw equal results in the application there, but it was when the plants are covered in white flies and carrying who knows what, that's where we saw, I mean, when I see the pictures, when my brother's digging them up and they're sending me the pictures from in the field, I'm like, are you cherry picking this? And my brother called me, he's like, no, this is what, we're just randomly picking plants. We're going down the row and digging. My dad had to drive away. He didn't want to see him dig up any more plants.
I get it. Kevin, I've been out to your farm. You guys run a tight ship over there, and I got to see some of the videos online after, but maybe some of these people haven't seen them yet. What was the reaction? You know, you did the new leaf, but then later.
Yeah. So the southern rust, we had a really bad year for southern rust. You know, we were dealing with tar spot previous years, but you know, I'll just say it was phenomenal. We had the check right next to where we didn't spray any fungicides in the river bottom. Basically, that corn was almost dead at R4, what we didn't treat with any fungicides or new leaf product. And ended up, like I said, being 6 bushel better than our, in fact, it was NCGA contest corn. So, you know, that bottom we treated fungicide-wise really, really well. But knowing that it was actually 6 bushel better with, you know, application or two a foliar with it, compared to our normal fungicide passes, was the money that we saved. Not only the 6 bushels that we gained, but the $50 an acre of less inputs.
Can't complain about that.
Yeah.
How about for you, Adam? Let's talk about ROI on this.
ROI, so I used it in 2 different scenarios. I used it in our grower standard practice. So I split a planter, and we had a TS601 treatment in half of it. And then our grower standard practice is 2 passes of fungicide around flowering, early flowering, and then about 15 days later to protect the main part of our yield. And we seen I really wasn't necessarily interested in getting this massive yield bump, but can we fend off this disease long enough, to get through that reproductive stage? And we actually ended up seeing a 2 bushel increase over our grower standard practice. And then I did leave a check strip. I got a little gutsy and sprayed no fungicide, and we seen quite a bit more there. It was like 4.4 bushel.
That's really great. Well, we talked a little bit about it last night. Please share your experience too with that.
Yeah, when we tested it, we're running a 20-year-old plus fungicide for our cotton, which I know there's some new ones coming out this year that we're going to test on, but we were looking for something that we had to add to it because you're just using old technology. And I was really skeptical. Driving by the field was like, I don't see nothing. But when we walked out there and pulled plants, the stalk strength was so much better. The root structure was so much better. And then when it came down to it, we really needed more PGR applications on it. But being a plot, we just had to kind of split it between, we had 3 plots, so we had to split the average. And we needed a little more on the 601 with the stimulant, but it still out-yielded everything than our grower standard. And I will admit, I kind of brag that I have a really good grower standard, and adding to it just really made it better. And because we do not pull nothing away. When we test something, if it works, we don't ever take it away. We just keep stacking something else that works on top of it. And we never take away. We just keep stacking layer on layer on layer for our seed treatments, because we know we have problems and we're going to have problems, and we have to have something that works to get a stand.
Yeah, that's exactly what he was saying last night, actually. So we all did the one word before. Let's do one word after now that you've had an experience with it. Kevin, we'll start with you.
Believer.
Excited.
I don't even know.
We can skip you, but we'll
I
come
would say
back.
surprised.
Buyer.
Perfect. And you're all testing the triple stack in 2026 with TS201. Can you talk a little bit about that as well? Let's start down there.
Well, not going to get anything out of JDI for my dad's field, but there were two other farmers in our group that sell 2-melon-1, which is our sales team, and they're off. They've survived the cold, so we'll see on that.
Nice.
To be determined, though. Nothing looks pretty in South Florida right now. A lot of burnt leaves, a lot of setbacks. Less than a month ago, we had watermelons the size of your fist that were completely frozen solid that were treated. So, again, doesn't protect against 26 or 25 degrees.
Got it. Okay, how about for you, Lo?
We're testing it actually on corn, rice, and cotton this year, and our corn trial is planted as of Monday. So I know the Midwest guys are probably shocked, but we feel like I feel like we're behind planting. You know?
Yeah, and the 201, the bioinsecticide.
Yeah, we're using the bioinsecticide full treatment versus the standard bag treatment that your seed comes with.
And then, so that was something you were like, well, yeah, of course I'm going to try this.
Yeah, we're definitely going to. I was excited to try it, and all our acres on corn are treated with 201 and 601. Our rice acres will be treated with 201 and 601. And all our cotton acres will be treated with 201 and 601.
Lovely. Adam, can you talk a little bit about insect pressure?
Yeah, so insect pressure up by us, we get some cold, it's pretty cold, so we might not have it as bad as some of you guys down south, but we do get some insect pressure, sometimes in soybeans, sometimes in corn. We get some anthracnose, and I think a lot of that comes through some of that root feeding. So I'm excited to try it in corn. I didn't try it last year in corn. I'm really excited for that. I'm a pretty data-driven guy. I want to set up some trials and plots. I seen how it did this last year, and I want to set up some plots to really put this thing to the test in white mold situation and some corn.
How's that sound to you, Kevin?
We were so convinced that we actually made our order. We're running 100% of our acres.
Can you talk about insect pressure for you, though, as well?
So, depends on when we plant. We don't typically plant as early as some of the neighbors do. So, we do have some of our later planting can have some earworm. And, that we believe that there's going to be really good protection on earworm. So, if a guy can cut back on buying some of the Tricepta traits, and save some money on that and using the 601 and the 201, I think it's kind of a no-brainer for ROI. So, like I said, we just seen enough. We've never been a big fan of biologicals, and this was the first stuff that we said that, it needs to stay on our farm.
I was pretty impressed because I know you're not one to kind of change your program up. How many times have you won national? I mean, it's outrageous almost. So this was pretty exciting to see you try something new.
Yeah, it works. I'll say that.
Nice. Well, so then can you just take me into the move to 100%?
Well, farming's pretty tough right now. People need to cut costs when you can, and for us, it's we're on a kind of a fine line. We still chase yield, but now you have to be a little bit more effective on controlling your spending. So we just think on our farm that we could cut a fungicide pass or maybe even 2 passes, and save maybe 30, 40, $50 an acre. So that's kind of a no-brainer for us when we seen what it can do, what it can save us. Even if you don't gain a whole lot of bushels, it's just saving bushels or saving money, input costs. That's what we're looking at.
Nice. And Adam, when you hear that from Kevin, and I'm sure you're familiar with his story, and you are a data guy, does that push you towards 100%?
Yeah, it does. I'm going to do some more, and I want to get it over a wider range of our soils and really take a good hard look at it. But yeah.
Lowell, I know you're pretty set in your ways as well as how many passes you'll do, and
Well, we have a basically invasive insect in every one of our crops, in our corn, in our cotton now, and in our rice. So I'm real excited to see how the 201 is going to work on these new bugs, and if it can save us an insect application, especially in the cotton where we're spraying cotton pretty much every week, the sprayer's going. If we can cut passes on insects applications, that will be phenomenal for us.
yeah, Kevin touched on it too. I mean, it's as high stakes as it's ever been in agriculture right now. And speaking of that, I also work in NASCAR, so I'm very familiar with Ross's world. Ross, every week you have a team meeting where somebody has a new brilliant idea of how to get the edge. It sort of reminds me of a situation like this where somebody comes in the room and is trying to sell you on, we're going to try this, and you know what you're doing, you're a race car driver. Did you see any parallels there where it's like, well, sometimes it's worth trying something different?
I thought we were better friends. I don't know what I'm doing. Come on, Daryl.
Well, there's somebody in the room that normally does.
Yeah, it's engineers come up with crazy things on the racing side, new ways to build the car and spread the weight out. Though at the end of the day, we're just trying to get like the 4 tires on the ground the most evenly we can, but loading it the way we want it to let me go through the corner faster than everybody else. And that definitely comes with evolution. We've had the current car now since 2022. And early on, I was just talking with somebody at the back of the room, like we were on the leading edge on a lot of the racetracks where we were the fastest, Trackhouse and Chevrolet. So we got caught, like they caught up to us. And we've revamped our team, just personnel-wise. Some guys came off the road to start families. Some wanted to be home with their families more. So we've got a young crop of engineers, my new crew chief, fellow Florida guy, so kind of proud of that. But they definitely have different ideas, and I'm an open book. I'm a blank canvas, like a sponge. I'll take whatever they want and try to drive it to the best of my ability, and that's what I see at our farm. My dad does things that his dad did, and he does it because his dad did it, and I asked my granddad why. His dad did it that way, and they adapt to the times, but it's because that's how it's always been done. And so now my dad was very skeptical of this and started with a small trial and tasked my brother with you go, this is on you. You go see this through. You make sure that it's flagged properly and make sure that we can actually ourselves know what's happening at the end. Don't just let New Leaf control the narrative down the road. If we want to know if it fails so that we don't buy something we don't need to. And so yeah, they did that. And I mean, it speaks, I can't really say anything, but I can say a lot, but it really, at the end of the day, the fact that JDI made a large order, and then C&L Farms, another sister farm in our group, made a 100-acre order. Bayshore Farms heard about it, talked to them at lunch. I mean, it was just a conversation at Rib City, a little restaurant that is in our town, and the Singletaries heard about it, asked my dad and the C&L group, and they went and placed their order. So
It's a lot like racing, right? As soon as one thing works, everybody jumps on. That's
for
great.
sure,
Yeah.
for sure. And for us, Chevrolet shares a lot of the information amongst Hendrick Motorsports, RCR, and Trackhouse, and that's really how we do it at Mellon One.
Share information, share.
Yeah. I mean, rising tide raises all ships. So although you don't want them to have more yield than you're our neighbors, but
Cover your ears, Kevin.
they want us to harvest their crop first. But it definitely we're in it together. So we're sharing the buying is coming into our local rep across the board.
Yeah, that's real interesting too, because Kevin, when I do run into you, you're always sharing what's going on with you, but the next thing out of your mouth is always your concern for your friends that are farmers. I ask the questions, but just share your feelings now after everything. Is there anything that you want to touch on that I didn't ask you? Because I know that your family's first, but you are always mentioning your friends and how tough sometimes it is for people.
Well, I think just go back to the economy of agriculture right now. We're not in a super good spot right now. So, any time you could save any money and not lose anything, I think that's worth telling your friends about. And that's kind of why I think we're all up here, try to help each other survive the tough times in agriculture right now.
Yeah, I mean, it is tough. Somebody charged Lowell $5 for a can of Coke this morning. He was not happy. He's still upset about it. First thing he said. So is there any questions in the audience, though? That is why we're here. The friends of ours are coming down with the mics right now. If there's any, feel free to ask whatever you want. These are straight shooters, all of them.
How much did it improve your test weight?
Well, I'm not a big fan of the test weight, the way we measure it. It don't really tell you the exact how heavy each kernel is. So to sit there and say how much it affected our test weight, we need to redo the way we check test weight, because you're just filling up a cup. If you got bigger kernels, you got more air in that cup, so it don't give a legitimately true test weight. So to sit there and say it gave us more, I can't really tell you if it did or it didn't, just because if the kernels are bigger, a lot of times your test weight don't get heavier because you don't have as many kernels in that cup. So that's kind of a tough question to answer.
But we appreciate the question.
Yeah.
What else? Anybody else? Yep. This is a room of very smart people. Come on, somebody give us a question. We've been waiting all morning for this. This is exciting. Even if it's about racing, I know we got two little fans there.
On your white mold control, how did you incorporate this product versus your fungicide use?
So this product was applied on the seed at planting time. So, and then we come back at node 7 and node 10 with a fungicide to protect those flowers.
Like that. All right.
Is this strictly a biostimulant, or is it actually biology-based as well?
Who wants to take that one?
It is not just strictly a biostimulant. It is a biostimulant with a biofungicide, a PPFM.
Yep.
Group that has testing with 201 specifically for corn rootworm?
No, I haven't.
All right. Yes, up front, Sean.
Ross, I have to know this.
Hold on, we're going to get the mic so everybody can enjoy this.
After the race, when you got interviewed, how pissed off were you at Chase Elliott during your interview? That was amazing. Ridiculous, just ridiculous.
The car that came my way?
Yes.
Briscoe, yeah. Doing an interview, national TV. I just get out of running 400 miles at 200 miles an hour, about to crash the entire time. I'm trying to put my words together. I'm trying not to say the words we're not supposed to say. I'm trying not to, misspeak. I'm trying to think of my sponsors, trying to think of everything. And a group of guys push a race car right into me and try to make us move on TV. And they captured it, of course. And I just kind of went blank of what I wanted to say. And I was about to go after the guy because I saw him steer it right towards me. So yeah, I got madder about that than I did the whole race. It's not the first time it's happened. They steered towards us. Yeah, I said it was unnecessary. I wanted to say a lot more.
Love it. Any other questions from the audience here? All right. Well, listen, you guys we have more. I love this.
So is this a planter box treatment, or?
Yeah, seed treatment.
It goes in the planter box?
Yeah.
Yeah, for us, they're doing it at the greenhouse. So they're doing it in a normal watering 5 to 7 days, they say, before we transplant for the veg side. Yeah, I know, but I had to toss in how we're doing it.
You tell him, sir. You tell him. He's a race car driver. They're 8th generation watermelon farmer. Listen, before we go, let's talk about it. It's, what is it, end of February? How are we feeling going into this season? Oh, boy.
Good question. I feel good. I mean, we're a little bit dry at home, but knowing where we farm at, where floods coming, May, April, June, it don't matter. We'll get some kind of a flood, so not too concerned about being a little dry, but I tell you, the main thing is we're pretty excited just to know that we can already know we're cutting input costs by using this product. That's what I like.
I was just looking for one word, but thanks. That was great. That was it. Thank you. How about for you, Adam?
If I was being honest, it's a little nerve wracking, as Kevin stated before, you know, with the economy. But I feel good having some data to back everything up with the products that we're moving forward with. And I also feel good about trying some new stuff.
Love it. Love to hear it. How about you, Lil? You're always good for a quote.
I'm ready for 26 to be over.
Okay. And Ross, for you, you know, farming and racing. Go ahead. Let's close it out.
Cold.
Okay. There you go. Well, let's give them a round of applause and thank them for being here. I will also tell you, all of them are very approachable, and there will be people out back, including them. So if there's any questions you have that we didn't cover and you didn't want to say on the mic, feel free to visit us out back. Thank you again, guys.